We come to this place for magic. We listen to the Brown Boy Wonders podcast to laugh, to cry, to care. Because we need that. All of us. That indescribable feeling we get when we click the play button and we go somewhere we've never been before. Not just entertained, but somehow reborn together. Having dazzling guests on this great audio platform. Sound that I can feel. Somehow, heartbreak feels good in a place like this. Our heroes feel like the best parts of us, and stories feel perfect and powerful. Because here they are. Brown Boy Wonders podcast. We make podcasting better.
Welcome to the spooky edition of the Brown Boy Wonders podcast. In this month of October, you guys should know by now, Skyler and I have been rewatching the Saw movies, and right now we are going to talk about Saw 7, the final chapter, or called Saw 3D. Skyler, do you want to play a game?
We're finally done. This is the final chapter. This is the last one.
That's what they said.
It says
at
final
that time.
chapter right on the poster. I'm looking at it right now. We're done.
You say that, but we do have 3 more movies left.
What do you mean? Wait a minute. What?
We do have Jigsaw. We do have.
This is the final
Spiral.
chapter.
I know this is the final chapter, but we do have Jigsaw. We do have Spiral, and we just have Saw 10. But this is what they said is the final chapter.
This isn't the last one. Why did I sit through this crap ass movie for?
Because the studio thought, we're losing money and let's end this.
But they didn't end it.
Because they were like, you know what? We could still make money off of it.
And then they did. They won, everybody.
They won.
The joke truly is on us.
Yeah. But yeah, I have like this one question. So for this movie, Saw 7, the final chapter, or Saw 3D, because it was filmed in 3D.
Yeah.
How many kills or how many deaths were in this film?
Ooh. Okay, I can do this.
Like total deaths. Does it includes what that's non-trap or a trap?
Are you counting an implied death, like if somebody is left to die at, say, the end of the movie? Does that count?
That's a good question.
Also, here's an important question. Do you have the answer to this?
I do.
Oh, okay. Because if I did all the mental work and was like figuring it out, and then you're like, yeah, probably, I would have been a little upset. No, okay, let me give this a shot. Okay, there's her, and then 1, 2, 3, 4.
Oh no,
that's tough because like there's people that just.
Saw 7, the final chapter, or Saw 3D.
Oh my god.
Spy Kids 3D. Jaws.
God.
3D.
Bang bang.
Avatar: The Last Airbender. No, Avatar: The Way of Water. 3D.
I'm gonna say 15.
15. Okay, final answer?
I guess so.
You were kind of close-ish, not really. Maybe halfway. For this film, Saw 7, it had 27 deaths.
27?
Yeah.
I couldn't remember how many people like Hoffman killed in the. And it's like a trick part where like once I realized I was really in trouble because I was started like doing the people in the Travis, but then I was like, wait, there's people that just get like mowed down by a machine gun at one point.
Yeah.
There was no way I was gonna get that.
That's okay, man. Well, right now we're gonna talk about Saw 7, with acclaimed to be the final chapter, and it was also filmed in 3D. So Saw 7, it came out in 2010. Uh, we got some new cast members, a lot, but I'm just gonna name the most important ones. We got Sean Patrick Flannery as Bobby. Uh, I think I said that correctly, right? This is the first time.
Yeah, you did. And this guy is an actual actor that like is recognizable from things.
Yes. What's he been?
Well, he's probably I don't want to say most famous for the Boondock Saints.
Oh, okay, yeah.
It was him and Norman Reedus are the main two guys. He was he was young Indiana Jones in the television show. Young Indiana
He.
Jones
Oh,
Adventures.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's in a lot of stuff.
All right. We also got Chad Donala as Gibson, who's the main FBI, or not FBI, or so like I think he's not an FBI. He's like a cop. He's the main cop in this movie, and I think he kind of. I don't know if you see this. I think he kind of looks like Christian Bale. He acts like Christian Bale, and he kind of looks like him.
Okay, this is insane because this is the first time I actually agree with you.
Yes! Finally, after
No.
7 movies.
This guy actually does have a bit of a Christian Bale look to him.
Yeah.
But in our last episode, I mentioned, oh, there's someone in this movie that was also in a TV show. It's this guy,
Oh.
and you'll never guess what TV show he was in.
What?
He was in one episode of Smallville.
Oh.
He was in, I think it was the second episode of Smallville. He was the kid that he gets bug powers. He's a bug kid.
Nice. Did he survive?
No,
Oh.
I think a big thing falls on him and then he becomes a bunch of little bugs.
No,
Did you ever watch
that's
Smallville?
I didn't.
Come on, man. What are you doing?
I don't know.
Watch
I'm not.
Smallville. How
Is
is
it
it
on
that I
HBO
get
Max?
crap? How is it that I get crap for not watching Rush Hour, but you haven't watched way more?
Yeah, that is true. But is it on HBO Max? Smallville,
I think it should be. Yeah.
right? Um, well, no, it's a CW product. But I don't know. Or
No,
it's
but
W. It's Warner
CW is
Brothers.
Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers is HBO. It should be on HBO Max.
All right, I'll go watch it. We also got new cast members Gina Holden as Joyce, who is in this movie Bobby's wife. She comes in later in this movie, and like in Saw 6, we had Eddie from Family Matters, but in this one, we got a cameo of Chester Bennington, who's the lead singer of Linkin Park.
Rest in peace, dude's a legend.
A legend. I can't believe he passed away so early, but yeah, I'm glad he's in this film. He's in something, I guess.
Yeah.
What you think?
Uh
Yeah.
um yeah, I think I mean I don't know all the story behind him being in this movie. I think he just wanted to
I
be
think
in
he
it
likes Saul.
because
Yeah.
he liked it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll talk more
Um,
about that scene when we get to it. It's an interesting scene.
it is. But yeah, for this budget, what was your guess on the budget for this film?
So all the other movies, well, Saw 1, we started at like 1 million and then we eventually worked our way to the average being about 10 million.
Yeah.
This one's got to be more expensive because they have to film the 3D gimmick and convert everything to 3D.
Yeah. Yeah.
So double it, 20 million.
Very close. So Saw 6 was, as you mentioned, like 10 or 11 million. Saw 7, the final chapter, or Saw 3D, is 17 million.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. So it's a little high in budget. But I feel like this, for me, I feel like this movie doesn't doesn't show a lot of budget. But yeah, you said the 3D was a big part. Yes.
We'll get there.
Yeah. But the box office for this one, what do you think it is? The last one was a big dip, huge dip, was 69 million for Saw 6.
That's
Uh,
crazy.
Yeah, Saw 7, what do you think for this one?
Um, it's tough because on the one hand, I want to think that Saw 6 not being the worst thing ever, like
Yeah.
Saw 5 was at the time, um, that has to help get some people back. Be like, okay, that one was okay. But what really brings people in is that they're calling this one the final chapter. I don't
Yeah.
think I don't think them marketing it as 3D would have done a whole hell of a lot to get people. Maybe it would have. I don't know how audiences feel about 3D gimmick horror movies in like the year 2010. Uh, I mean, obviously 3D was everyone's problem for a while because of Avatar.
Yeah.
So everything was in 3D.
It had to be.
Um, but then did people did people hear like, "Oh, this one's in 3D? Oh, fuck yeah. We gotta go see that one." That's not how people work, right? Because
Um,
if I'm sitting there and I'm like, "Oh, they made this one." They didn't just like release it in 3D. It wasn't converted to 3D. They made it to be 3D, which means you're gonna have the gimmick where someone's, I don't know, eyeball shoots out and it flies at the camera and is like, "Ooh, look, we're in 3D."
I think during that time, since everything was, like, in 3D, so people were like it's, like, the part of that time where 3D was popping.
Yeah, all these things combined, I think the box office shot back up, um,
Okay.
past 100 million, maybe like 130, 40, 140 million.
Oh,
Because it's the last one, right? Like, everyone's gotta
right.
be coming back.
You were really close. So Saw 6 was 69,000,000. This one
Yeah,
is
pitiful.
136,000,000. So it went back up.
Oh my goodness.
That's a lot. It's huge rise from 69,000,000.
Okay.
Yeah. So, okay. Saw 7, the final chapter, Saw 3D, came back up, but, yeah, your initial thoughts on this film?
Oh, man, it sucks. It's so bad. It's so bad, man. Like, I've already complained about 3D and how 3D sucks and I don't like it. Um, just about everything is wrong here. Uh, they're doing so this is the final one, which means we're doing the gimmick of we want to bring it full circle as much as we can.
Yeah.
That might be one of the only, I hesitate to say, interesting things about this movie because it's hokey. Because
Mhm.
it's not a spoiler because it's like the first thing we see in this movie. Um, but we bring back Carrie Elways as Dr. Gordon. He's back. They try to bring
Yes.
back um a lot of people, uh, which we'll talk about in that particular scene. Um, so in the sense of like, oh, we're tying it all up as a neat little whatever, this series hasn't always been super deep, so that's fine. It doesn't bother me. The 3D gimmick bothers me, and
Do you like 3D? Do you like 3D as, like, its own thing?
no.
But what if, like, Christopher Nolan made this only IMAX 3D, like, for example, Avatar?
If Chris Nolan made Avatar, would I watch it?
Yeah.
Well,
Oh, I'm
all
sorry,
right.
James Cameron made that,
I'm
sorry.
I'm I'm gonna withhold my comment. I'm not gonna answer your question.
Okay.
Uh, um, I don't know. I'm not a fan of 3D, and it's
Gotcha.
not like I'll never watch something in 3D at home. I don't have a 3D TV. I don't want a 3D TV.
No.
3D doesn't really add anything to the movie going experience for me. Um, I wear glasses. I'm a glasses
Right.
wearer. You're also a glasses wearer. There's
I
nothing
am.
There's nothing worse than shoving on 3D glasses on top of the glasses I'm already wearing.
Yeah.
Oh, just wear contacts. No, you shut up. You wear contacts. I'm not putting my fingers in my eyes.
That could be a jigsaw trap for you.
It was. It was a jigsaw trap in Saw 2. Um,
Exactly.
yeah, I just no 3D, don't like it, and
Oh, damn.
and most importantly, what a thing to not like about 3D. Let's say I didn't care. Let's say the gimmick didn't bother me. Let's say I didn't mind putting on the glasses on top of my glasses. You know what I do mind? I mind the ticket prices being like
Yeah.
$4 extra.
Yeah.
I just want to see Saw. I don't want I don't want to see Saw for $15 in 2010.
But it's all 3D. But yeah, I
Anyway,
understand.
let's talk about the worst thing that the 3D did to this movie.
What?
It made all the blood pink.
Yes, I was gonna mention that. Yeah, so when I first saw the film, I think I saw it in 3D as well. So it has to the blood has to be pink so you can see it in 3D and it will be red.
That's the
Uh,
excuse they gave, is that with the
yeah,
3D glasses, the blood will look darker. Well, here we
yeah.
are in 2023 watching the movie on Blu-ray or on Hulu, and guess what? Every drop of
Pink.
blood looks like strawberry milk.
Yeah, yes. That's what it looked like. I was like, ugh, that's not right.
Man, it's just I don't it's no forethought into I'm gonna hesitate to call Saw 3D art, but there's no forethought into how your art's gonna look, 10 years from now. Here we are not watching it with 3D glasses. Your movie looks like shit because you did this really bad gimmick to kowtow to the 3D market. And you
Yeah.
know what? I I want to call bullshit because I've never seen another 3D horror movie that came out around this time was My Bloody Valentine. Remember that?
Yeah,
The remake?
I remember that.
Um, was there blood in that movie pink?
I don't think so.
Again, I've never seen it, but I venture to guess if I looked it up right now, if I watched that movie, that blood would look like movie blood at the very least, and not strawberry milk. This I don't know what bullshit excuse they were giving. And it's not even like they had more, because kind of a thought that I had was like, it's in 3D. There's a lot of blood in these movies. Did they do it to like avoid an NC-17 rating somehow? Is there that much blood? But there's not even more blood in this movie than there was in the past ones.
Uh, this one had there's some things that were really explicit.
Well, they would have been if it looked like blood,
Yeah.
but nothing looks like blood, so it's hard. There's like maybe one thing in this entire movie that elicits a proper like grossed out reaction from me because it doesn't really have anything to do with blood. Everything else that has something to do with blood gets nothing because it doesn't look like blood. It's the same thing as like if you see Bishop from Aliens get torn apart, you're like, well, he's a robot and his blood is white, so therefore I feel nothing other than
Yeah.
emotional because I like Lance Henriksen. But other than that,
Yeah.
it's just a baffling choice. This movie's whole gimmick is the blood and gore. And they just like, well, no one will even notice.
Well, I do have a slight different opinion on this film.
Oh my goodness.
I mean slight. So I rewatched it, right?
Uh-huh.
I remember okay, when I first saw it in the theater, I was like, "Ah, it's not good. It's whatever." When I first saw the film, I was
Yeah,
like when it throughout the whole movie, I was like, maybe I don't remember, like, the plot hole not plot holes, subplots
yeah.
because, that's why I didn't like it. Now I rewatched it. Now I'm doing this marathon,
Yeah.
Now rewatched it. It's not as bad as I remembered, but it is dumb. Uh, I think there's some bad like things into it, but when it came to the ending, I was like, everything connects, but it's kind of like it's just lazy writing towards the ending. But I thought it wasn't that bad.
My problem with this movie, and I promise I won't complain about the blood the whole time. So, like,
Yeah.
everything I say going forward with except for maybe the odd comment, it's not about the blood. But when I say this movie, like, feels cartoony, that's
Hmm.
not even reference to the blood. I mean, it just feels cartoony, like, them chasing Hoffman has kinda become like Wile E. Coyote trying to catch the Roadrunner.
Oh, I
Where
see.
they're
I
just
see what you
like,
mean.
"We gotta stop this fucking Hoffman guy," and he's always, like, 4 steps ahead of him in a comical way.
Yeah, it's kind of like Scooby Doo.
Yeah, it's really silly.
Okay.
Um, also, uh, the idea because this one's the final chapter, it's the big grandiose finale, but Hoffman's still doing just a random, like, put this guy in a trap, you know?
Yeah.
And it doesn't really fit. Not only does it not fit because outside of this one guy going through his trial, you have, like, this whole, like, franchise-ending hunt for Hoffman happening. But, like, when did Hoffman have time to do this? Is he actually overseeing it? Is like, what's happening? He's really busy right now, but
He's
yet
very busy.
he put Sean Patrick Flannery in the trap.
Yeah, we'll get into that. There's a reason why there's a lot of unexplained traps, and he does have time. But you want to get into it now?
Let's get it over
Let's
with.
let's play the game. So in the beginning, we were wondering where the hell has Gordon been since he was crawling out of that bathroom, that dirty ass bathroom in
The
Saw 1.
the last we heard from him was he looked, Adam, who was still alive at the time, he looked him in the eyes and said, "I'll be right back. I'm just going to get help."
Yeah. So the first thing you see is you see him crawling through the hallways, and
Mhm.
he sees like a big hot rod, and he gotta
Yeah,
steamed his
like a steam pipe,
yeah,
yeah.
he gotta steamed his legs so he won't lose blood, and that's where it ends there. So we know he's alive.
Yeah,
He's
he
alive.
made it out of the bathroom.
Yeah. So now we're going back to the story. So this is where it leads off of Hoffman. He had half of his face after that reverse bear trap that Gil put him in, and he is chasing her.
Yeah, so they actually reused the shot from the ending of Saw 6, which, has his, like, face hanging off, and it's all covered in blood, and it looks really good. And then it cuts to a shot of him covered in, like, strawberry jam
Yeah.
because it's for this movie now, so we use different blood. So it's just really it's like, "Oh, okay." And then he just kinda casually walks away. He's just like, "Well, that
Yeah,
happened," and he walks and, like, Jill's hiding. She didn't get away, she's just hiding. She's like, "Oh, I hope he doesn't find me." And he just kinda,
and
like, walks right past her, not realizing she's there, and I guess he's like, "I'm going home."
it's too much. But yeah, so after that, we get to our first trap. Um, this one is, I think, the most stupidest, not stupidest trap. I
Well,
want to say
it's
stupid, but
no,
go
it
ahead.
is stupid. It's confusing too because when I was watching it with my brother, I was like, "Do you notice something wrong?" And I didn't mean the blood or the bad acting or the whatever. It was like, we're out in the middle of a town with real people in it right now.
Yeah, broad
Like
daylight.
the city is no longer abandoned everywhere. There's just people walking around. And it was just like, this isn't what Saw is. This is weird.
Yeah, it's
And
really yeah.
and once you take the trap out of the abandoned warehouse motif, a whole new crop of questions start coming up. Like, how did Hoffman set this up without getting caught? How did he have the time to put this here? How did nobody notice him building this here? How did he replace the glass to get them inside this little display? Like, what's going on?
So we're talking about the public execution trap, and I believe this particular trap was a marketing advertisement for the movie. I believe they did like something out in public, not like real with real people, but there's like an ad just for this type of trap, just to promote this film.
Oh,
Uh,
like everyone there were all actors, but like everyone around them were like, "Oh, what's going on? Oh, they're filming the new Saw movie."
yeah, it was like that.
That's strange. This movie did have a lot of marketing, though, didn't it?
It did a
Uh,
lot of
which might explain the bigger box office.
that makes sense. Yes, that makes sense. But yeah, let's get into this trap. So we got three people, one girl hanging on top, two guys on the side, and there's like a big saw between them. And pretty
They've
much,
each got their own saw blades, basically.
yeah. So this trap is called the public execution trap, but I call it bros prefer hoes trap.
You're goddamn right.
Pretty much, it's like a little triangle here,
Yeah,
and
it's very simple story
there's
wise. Is two guys, one girl. She's cheating on both of them, and the gimmick Jigsaw just says, "Fellas, cut this toxic you know what out of your lives. We don't need none of that, do we, boys?" And as soon as the saw blades start up, she immediately is like, "Kill him, kill him, I love you." And then they start
yeah.
fighting, and then the guy starts losing, and she's like, "No, I was kidding. I love you instead." And this guy is like, You know what? I think we're done here. I think we're done with all this."
Yeah, and
Uh,
they balanced the saw for her to get cut in half, and she died.
yeah.
The
The guy
film,
said, "I
yeah,
think we're breaking up with you, Dana."
yeah. That's a good line, actually.
It
Um,
was okay.
before this whole thing happened, they're all they're all panicking, and everyone's looking at the trap, and one of the guys said like, "Hey, women," or the woman carrying a briefcase, to like smash the glass, and you see the girl, she's like hitting the the glass with the briefcase, and she's like, He's like, it's not working.
Yeah, just give up.
He just gives up.
Just go home. Yeah, that's what I would
uh,
do.
yeah, I'll do that too.
Well,
But yeah, that
you know what's messed up? So put yourself in that guy's situation, right? Where
right.
you see the trap happening and you're like, "Oh, I can't. I try to help, but I can't." You just go home. And then a year later, you wake up in your own trap, and Jigsaw's like, "You didn't help. You just went home." What was I supposed to do?
Oh my god, yeah. That actually that'd be messed up. Hopefully, yeah. Hopefully that woman's not in a trap right now.
She
But
might
yeah,
be.
this trap was, I guess pointless. It doesn't really add to the story.
Yeah.
Not really.
Just about everything in this movie is pointless.
But yeah, after that, pretty much, uh, what's next? I think Jill. So Jill escaped, of course, but she's at home and she had this bad dream.
Oh my god. This part pissed me off.
Uh-huh.
It was like a Family Guy cutaway gag, and it was just an excuse to throw a big 3D thing at the audience.
Yeah.
They put her in this little skimpy pink dress, and he like he sets her up in like a big like rocket powered like train trap. I don't even know.
It's like a spike.
like a bulldozer thing,
Yeah.
and he's just like, "Oh, I'm gonna get you," and he launched it at her and just flew at the screen, and then she wakes up from a dream, and she was like, "Oh, that would have been really scary if it was in 3D." And I'm like, "Yeah, uh-huh."
Yeah, that one's called the Pain Train Trap,
It
and
should have
yeah.
been called nothing because it didn't happen. It was fake.
Yeah, yeah. Uh, well, they named
Pain
it that.
train my ass.
But yeah, she got cut in half in that dream. Pretty, I wasn't I wasn't it was gruesome for sure,
No,
but it wasn't I thought it
no,
was.
no, it was pink.
Yeah, it was pink, yeah,
It was
but it was
pink and
gruesome.
3D, and it flung around like a bunch of fake body parts. It was not. No. I'm putting my foot down on this one, Abrar.
Alright, alright. So out of the traps so far, do you like the
No.
hose trap or this pain train trap?
Uh, the wait, what? Say your question again. Pain train or
Do you
what?
like do you like the paint train trap or the bros prefer hose trap?
Oh, bros before hoes.
Yeah.
Because first of all, at least in the context of the film, it really happened. But second of all, that guy said, "We're breaking up with you, Data," and that's fun. That's it. Everything else about it is all terrible.
Yeah. Uh, so we get like a trap right after this, I believe. It is
Close
the
enough.
yeah. I feel like this movie had the most traps as well. It's just
Oh,
like back to back, pretty
trying to
much.
trying to cash in on the gimmick. They had all these ideas, and they're like, "Well, this is the final one."
Yeah, they gotta put everything in there. All the eggs in the basket. Yeah, in the basket. So this one is the one I mentioned before. Chester Bennington. He's
Mhm.
in this trap. This one's called the junkyard trap.
Yeah.
Pretty much. We got four people, right? So we got Chester in the car. Who? I would say I know it's pink. We gotta stop with the pink. But
Yeah.
his thing is he's kind of glued. I don't know if it was glued or
Yeah,
taped or
he was super glued.
super glued on his back to the seat. And if he extends a little bit further, it will rip out his back. Pretty crazy.
Yeah,
Um,
this one I'm alright with. Um,
yeah,
we won't yeah, I won't complain about the pink blood here. It does kinda take away a little bit, but there's enough, flesh tearing stuff on
yeah,
him that I'm alright with. So it's him super glued shirtless to the car seat, and he has to reach forward and reach a lever. There's, his girlfriend underneath the car,
the
and
tire.
timer goes up, like, the tire will slam on her face and crush her. There's a dude behind the car who's, like, stuck in place and a bunch of, like, chains, like, stuck into him so that the car will rip his, like, arms and chin off. And then there's a dude in front of the car that the car's gonna run over.
Yeah.
I don't know about the 2 dudes that aren't Chester in this, but I know that the girl was a contest winner.
Oh, oh, yeah, I heard about that. Yes,
Yeah, it was, that Scream Queen show.
yes.
She won Scream Queen and got to be in, oh, Saw 7, wah, wah. Oh, well, but,
She's in
um,
the movie.
but yeah, it's interesting kinda side note. She got to be in a scene with Chester Bennington, and can I say, I don't know if it's just because I like Linkin Park and I
Yeah,
like and miss Chester Bennington, but, um, his, agonized screams kinda makes this scene for me. 'Cause
yeah,
he's obviously got that very distinct voice,
yeah.
so his screaming in this as he's, like, reaching forward and his skin is tearing, it's pretty good.
That's good. It's like he's about to sing a song.
Yeah,
Um, but yeah. So his thing is he gotta. I think it's trying to get that lever in front of the dashboard, but
yeah.
he didn't make
He
it in
he
time.
doesn't make it. Also, they specify that, they're all racist.
Yes, I forgot about that part.
They're
Important
like,
side note.
"Chester Bennington, you're racist and your friends are racist."
No, no, I don't want to think
Uh,
about him like that.
no, he's not racist. He sang the
No, no.
songs in Transformers movies.
Yeah, what I've done.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, so that's another kinda thing where the last movie was like people doing like shady business dealings, right?
Yeah.
And then with this one we're right back to like this girl cheat on these men, these people racist. It's like, yeah, that is bad. You are right.
But
It's a little simple.
it's very simple and is lazy.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, it's fine.
I guess we're not gonna complain to see racist people get torn apart, right?
I guess not. But yeah, so Chester didn't get the lever,
Oh,
timer ran out, and then the car,
everyone dies in different ways.
yeah, very different ways. So basically the car slammed down and the girl got smushed
Yeah, it
like a
turned her face
pancake.
into birthday cake. Yeah.
It did. And the car is running and the car is moving, and then of course the guy behind him, his arms and mouth got ripped off, right?
Yeah, he ended up looking like, remember in The Walking Dead, when Michonne had her two zombies?
Yeah, he looked like him.
They had no arms so they couldn't grab her, and they had no
Yes,
jaw so they couldn't bite her. And that's what this guy ended up being.
yeah, but this time for this thing, he's dead, not a zombie.
Yeah.
And
That would
the
have been cool
car,
though. That would have been a cool twist.
like
The
there's zombies in the
Yeah,
Saw.
the Saw music starts playing, like, at the end, and then this guy with no arms and no mouth gets up. He just starts walking around. That would've been
That'd be
cool.
a little different. Yeah, the car accelerated and then ran over that guy, and then it crashed to a car, and then not Chad, yeah, Chester, not Chad,
Chester.
Chester, flew to the windshield to another windshield.
Boy, did he.
He did with his backs
Yeah,
ripped off.
his back looking like a manwich.
Yeah, really. Ugh. Anyways, but yeah, that happened, and then let's get to the main guy of the story.
Yeah.
So we got here is what's his face?
John Patrick Flannery.
Yes, Sean Patrick Fowler as Bobby. So Bobby, whole thing is he survived a Saw trap and
He
he's trying to
sure
help other people. He's trying to help people trying to, recover to that trauma experience.
Yeah, we meet him on a talk show where he's, like, plugging his book that was named something comical, like, "I Survived a Jigsaw Trap," or something like that.
I think it's survive was like
Yeah.
as period periods like yeah, it's like that.
Yeah, and
Uh,
his cronies that he has with him is, like, his publicist, his
yeah,
lawyer, and, like, his best friend/assistant/bodyguard, slash bodyguard, whatever.
yeah.
Uh,
The
oh, and
What
his
it
wife.
is wife. One of the guys, the guy with the blonde hair, he kind of looked like Ryan Reynolds. I don't know. Do you remember how he
Alright,
looked like?
alright. You were ahead with the,
Christian Bale?
Christian Bale thing, and you
Yeah.
just lost it.
Ah, damn it.
You just
You don't see it?
let's just move on, shall we?
All right, I'm just Ken. But
That's nice.
he has he has his own crew publishing his story, his book.
That's Ryan Gosling, by the way.
What did I say?
You said Ryan Reynolds,
Ah,
and
sorry,
then you
Ryan
said I'm
Gosling I
just
meant.
Ken.
Yeah, I meant Ryan Gosling.
You know
Sorry.
what? I'm taking over this podcast.
No, whoa. This is crazy. Crazy talk
This
here.
is a mutiny.
No. I meant Ryan Gosling. Sorry, everyone who is listening.
All right. You know
I
what?
meant Ryan Gosling.
I won't take over the podcast. I don't know. I don't think people would want to listen to a show called The White Boy Wonders.
No,
Um,
it
I
caused a
wouldn't
lot of
listen to that
flags.
either. So let's just stick with what we've got going on. If you think that
Yeah,
guy looks like Ryan Reynolds or Ryan Gosling
Ryan Gosling.
or Ryan from The Office, you can think whatever you want.
All right. But yeah, they're expressing his story, and he was in a was it like a news, not news, but like a talk show, and
Yeah,
he's
it
telling
was like
experience.
Good Morning America.
Yeah, about Saul. And his thing is he survived because there were two hooks in his on his pecs, and then he ripped them out. Something about that. He made
He says what he did was he had to, like, pierce one hook through each of his pectoral muscles, and then
Yeah.
pull chains to hoist him up by his pectoral muscles up to like connect a thing to escape. He describes it in such detail that you're watching it and you're like, yeah, that's gonna happen for real later. It's gonna happen to you. They're gonna make you do that.
Well, at this point, we're I think we're believing him like, oh, he saw a saw trap.
Yeah. So it is revealed very well. Once he's in the trap, the first thing Jigsaw says is, "Never put you in a trap. I don't even know who you are."
Yeah, we'll get into that.
So yeah, he's a big liar phony. That's what we learned. But yeah. So my point though is like he says it on this talk show, and then he says it again in this like meeting that he's holding, and it's just
Yeah,
like
it's like
they
yeah.
keep saying it. They want us to remember this story, and it's because they're gonna make him repeat it. It's pretty clear. I
Yeah.
mean, it is a clever. I do. If I had to pick one thing about this guy's whole story that I liked, the idea of him faking being in a saw trap for clout is kind of interesting, but the idea of him having to do the trap that he lied about doing, I like that.
Yeah, that's a good part. Especially like in the year 2023 is all about like clout as well. And so this for
Yeah,
this film, trying to like break that barrier, not barrier, but like making it was trying to like started with that ish, like
yeah.
social media clout. Um,
Maybe
so
Sean
that's
Patrick Flannery's character could have made an apology video where
oh
he
yeah.
where he played the ukulele and said, "I'm sorry I lied about being in a saw trap."
Oh, uh, yeah, I know what you're referencing, but let's not go there. But yeah, so he's holding this meeting, and we meet some old survivors. So remember in Saw 6, uh,
Yeah.
the girl who chopped her hand or her arm,
Yeah.
she was in there, and I believe we saw Addie as well from the last one as well. The old grandma.
Yeah, and,
That's her.
the mom, Roderick Rules' mom is also there. I
Yes.
She didn't have to physically harm herself at all, though. I don't know why she feels she deserves to be there.
Maybe like emotional
B
damage.
being kidnapped is kinda stressful, I understand, I'm only teasing.
Yeah.
Um, uh, there's a couple the guy from
Saw
Saw
5?
5 is there.
Yeah. The guy who was like, what's his name?
The junkie who burned down the building, and then
Yes, that guy.
he's actually wearing a cast because at the end of Saw 5, his arm is so like, destroyed.
Mhm.
That's kinda neat, I
That's
guess.
good. So good callbacks. Uh, and we this one girl, one survivor, she experienced her story, and she was in the lawnmower's trap.
It's the
It was
dumbest
like,
thing I've ever seen in my life.
I think this is I think probably this one's the worst.
It is the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my entire they every Jigsaw trap we've ever seen is, like, plausible in its engineering. It just cuts to these 2 people holding on to a pole, and beneath them are, like, massive, like, lawnmower or fan blades, and they're just dangling around screaming, like, how did they wake up in that situation? It's so implausible, it's so goofy, it's so cartoony, and of course, it's shot for 3D. It's fucking terrible.
Yeah, I understand why you're I understand why what you meant by, like, really whack trap.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, so she survived from that, from being dangling around, and I thought they were, like, big fans, not lawnmowers, but, like, big fans.
Let me tell you,
So
I'm not a big fan of this movie.
oh, ooh, that's a hot take. Not really hot, it's kinda cold. But yeah, so she explained her story, they're saying, like, "Yeah," but then there's just one guy in the back. He
Ooh,
got up, and it's Gordon.
It's Gordon. He's got a prosthetic foot. He's got a cane, and he's. The last time we saw him, he was just like a kind of scared, grumpy guy. He missed his wife, Allie. He missed his wife. He wanted to go
Ali.
home. Cut off his foot, and now he's like giving monologues like he's a Shakespeare villain.
Yeah.
He's all scary, and he's like, "Bravo! What an experience you must have gone through in this trap that you really experienced for real, and am not lying about." And Sean Patrick Flannery's like, "Yes."
Yeah. If we mentioned in Saw One, like he has an act in real life. He has an accent, and he's trying to do an American accent.
Mhm.
And in this movie, I don't think he trying to do American accent. He's
No,
just doing his own
he didn't give a shit
voice.
about hiding it in this one.
Yeah. So I think yeah. So that was one big thing to not one big thing, but one small thing to notice.
Yeah.
And but yeah, so that happened, and then how
I'm
did
happy to see him though.
yeah, I'm happy to see him. It's been a while.
Yeah,
It's been a long time.
it's not like I have massive connection to the character of Dr. Gordon, but like we said in our first episode, I like Carrie Elways. I'm glad he's here.
Yeah, I'm glad he's here too. It's been a while since from 2004 to 2010. That's a long time.
Yeah.
Long time. So now we will get into Bobby's trial, I guess. Do you remember how he got into his trial, or how he got kidnapped?
I don't remember how he got kidnapped at all, but I remember him waking up. He's in like a big bird cage over like a little spiky mat, and he has to like swing his way over to not fall on the spikes. It's probably the most bullshit way to wake up that we've seen from any of these guys. Like Jeff was in a
Yeah.
crate, and I complained about Jeff having to get out of the crate because that was
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah.
Um, but
Uh,
at least William in the last movie, he woke up right in a trap. He was like, "All right, I get it. We're going."
mhm. Yeah, I now remember now how Bobby got into this predicament. After that meeting we were just talking about, Hoffman got him when he was looking through his car, and then he got kidnapped.
Again, how does Hoffman have the time to worry or care about this?
I don't know, man.
You'd think, what is it time sensitive? Do we have to get this guy now?
I guess so. But the trapper you were just mentioning was called the Metal Casket, and he escaped from that.
That's not a trap. That's not a trap. It was a situation. Like they named that on the wiki.
Ye on YouTube, under Dark Plasma Lord, playlist, all traps in order. That's what he named it, Metal Casket.
How many subscribers does this guy have? No, don't say it.
Uh,
I don't want to. Everyone go subscribe to Dark Plasma Lord.
yeah. I won't tell how many subscribers he has.
No,
He
just
has
let's give him some
oh,
the
it's
grand
private.
oh, you can't even subscribe to him?
No, he's private.
All right. You know, thanks for nothing, Dark Plasma Lord.
He has 65 videos just for all the traps.
65
Uh,
views.
but yeah, so he escaped from the Metal Casket,
Abrar just discovered
and
my secret YouTube channel.
oh,
That's the big twist. The Saw music plays, and I'm like, it's me, Abrar.
dun-dun-dun, dun-dun-dun.
The last video is me being like Abrar. It's been my channel the whole time.
No! And you see me, headbanging, camera cuts, um
Back to the Saw 1 editing.
yeah, yeah,
That's what I
um
miss. I miss
oh,
that.
yeah. Also, like, the transitions, nothing here.
Nope. The the actual filmmaking has become really boring at this point.
Yeah, which is sad. So Bobby, he is going to his first trial, and it's his one of his publicists, and this trap is called the Silence Circle.
Yeah, this is the one that actually kind of messes me up a little bit. I think this one is kind of tough to watch just in a concept.
Sure.
Uh
Uh, go ahead.
well, first I'll complain um because I complained that like the first trap we saw in this movie is like, oh, she's cheating on you guys. Cheaters are bad. Yeah, that's true. It's obvious, but it's true.
Mhm.
And then the next one is like, you're racist and racists are bad. Like, yeah, once again, that's true. And so now we've come to the point where we need our main traps to follow through, and instead of them having a theme like the last one of like, holding other people's lives in your hands, sometimes
Yeah.
literally. This one, they were just like, "What if it was see no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil?" And I'm like, wow, did that take you a full 5.5 minutes to come up and write down in the script? I don't know.
Yeah,
Maybe I'm being snobby, but I just think it's a little, you know, could have worked
cliche.
a little harder on that one.
Yeah,
But
but,
so the speak no evil, no, hear no evil. Some of these are kind of interchangeable because this has to do with her mouth, but it's it also has to do with sound. I don't know.
yeah,
The first test is she has this key tied to a string, and the
down
string
her
goes
throat.
down her throat into her like stomach.
Yeah.
But also on the string is a fish hook, and he has like 60 seconds to pull the string out through her mouth to get her out of this machine, or else these like pipes are gonna stab into her throat.
Yeah, these 4 rods.
Yeah, they
Um,
really liked these rods because they use them again for the next trap.
they did, yeah.
It's so
Um,
weird. But,
so Bobby's trying to help her out, but she's kept screaming, and he's kept saying like, "Dude, shut the hell up, I'm trying to help
yeah,
you."
yeah, any
Um,
any noise that, like, elevates past a certain decibel, makes the trap kinda progress a little faster or what have you.
yeah.
So, um, there are certain bits the idea of a fish hook getting caught in your stomach or like, your throat, your esophagus, that's kind of a rough feeling to think about. And especially some of the I will give props to some of the sound design when he's pulling on that string and you can hear it, like, tightening. Um, that's kinda rough, kinda rustles my jimmies, if you will. Uh,
It's not comfortable.
no. Um,
Uh,
there's really not much else to say other than he pulls it out, she screams, the trap goes a little further, he shushes her. He pulls it out, she screams, and then eventually he gets it all the way out, she coughs up a bunch of, like, pink foamy blood.
yeah,
Um And then, once he gets it out, she just screams and then won't stop screaming, and then the timer
yeah.
ends, and then it kills her, and then he just full on loses his patience with her, like I would have too. After she's dead, they've stabbed through her throat and killed her. He's just like, "Why would you just shut the fuck up?"
That's all she gotta do, but she didn't. There's 4 rods stuck in her throat, and she died.
Oh, well.
Great, but, let's get out of here of these traps and focus on what's going on right now. So, pretty much, the guy who I said, Christian Bale, Gibson, the cop in charge,
Yeah,
he
The Smallville bug guy.
yeah, he he, uh he got Jill because, she escaped, but we now know that Hoffman is trying to find Jill and trying to kill her, and, they kept, Jill in the safe house. Christian Bale, he's kept saying like, "Hey man, what's going on?" And there's one scene that I kind of laughed is he said crazy to her like 5 times. He said like, "Man, are you crazy? You crazy, crazy? Are you crazy, crazy?" I was like, "Oh man, the dialogue is just so bad."
I oh, man, I don't wanna sound like a jackass, but this dude kinda sucks in this movie.
He does suck. This guy
He
sucked, and his partner sucks too.
like, the character sucks. I don't know if he's not really giving it a fair try with the acting. He's
Yeah.
just kinda he seems like he doesn't care. Both as a character and as an actor, he seems like, um it really comes across where all the other cops are dead, you're the last guy, roll him out of bed, to have him try to give it a crack, right? See if he can
Yeah.
take a whack at this. And that's how it feels, which makes it so weird when like Hoffman's leaving him tapes. He's like, "Hello, detective Christian Bale bug guy from Smallville. You're the only one who's left and you that time that we know each other." And it's just like, don't tell me it comes down to this guy. We've never met this guy before. He doesn't want to be here.
No.
It's weird.
Nah. When Hoffman's giving them tapes, like, yeah, what's going on? There's some clues of where he's at, but we'll find that about that later.
This movie is the biggest example. It's never been more clear of the Saw franchise protagonist problem. They've
Yeah.
killed every protagonist they've ever had, and we're here at the quote unquote final chapter, and there's no one to stop Hoffman. To the point where
No.
they bring in this cop that nobody cares about, and he doesn't even stop Hoffman.
Yeah, it's pretty much like Kaufman's like a Michael Myers-esque character at this point.
Uh,
Um,
well, he's kind of more like Jason Bourne, just going
Jason
hallway to hallway, killing people with pens.
well, we'll get into we'll get into that. But let's get back to the traps now. The next trap is the hearing trap, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
So Ryan Gosling, he can't see, and he's like I think 3 levels high
This isn't the next one,
ish.
is it?
It's
No,
the
you skipped you skipped
I
the other
did.
lady. It's the other lady first.
I forgot about the seeing lady.
You're come on,
Uh,
man. What are you
I'm
doing?
sorry, I'm so sorry. I got ahead of myself. But yeah, the seeing trap. So pretty much, this was kind of hard to watch ish. First of all, we got big as Billy the puppet saying the instructions for the trap.
Is this the one where he like swings in through the cage in the window?
Yeah,
That
yeah.
was that was funny.
um, Again, we've got another the person's working for Bobby, and she is on this little thing where if she keeps moving towards up, there's like 3 rods sticking out for her eyes and mouth, and Bobby has to like suffer some pain as well. While there's like some rods again poking through.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. I was struggling to even remember what his part of this trap was. I remembered the 3 like spikes
he has
that are
to.
gonna get her in the face, but
Yeah, he has to like lift these weights until the timer runs out
he has to
for
lift
her not
the
to get for her not to get poked through these 3 rods.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. This one's weird because I don't know if it's the way it's shot or just the concept of it, but he's got to lift this heavy thing and connect to this circuit basically. And
mhm.
once the circuit's connected, it stops her from moving forward, but it also stabs him in the side,
Yeah,
on both sides, like in his ribs.
yeah,
Um, but like in theory, all he has to do is stop her for like 20 to 30 seconds, and it then she's safe. And
yeah.
it really feels like he does that, but she dies anyways.
She dies the
It
last
just
second.
it just doesn't stop. I don't
Uh,
it's weird where it just felt like not like not like the fuck was I supposed to do that doesn't seem fair. It just feels more like I don't think this thing is working.
um, but yeah, it doesn't look like it's working. Timer runs out. She's still going through it. Her eyes bulged into the rod, and her mouth went through. I'll say this one is pretty gruesome.
Well, again, it would be if it wasn't for the constant 3D gimmick and then the pink blood.
Yeah,
If they had done this trap in any of the previous Saw movies, I probably would have felt more for it.
I
Um,
agree. Also, like when you when she dies, it kind of it's really obvious that that's like a dummy now.
Yeah.
So they didn't really like did a lot of detail on the dummy. So
Movie dummies have come a long way since 2010.
yeah.
Like like in Guardians of the Galaxy 3, you know, the Chris Pratt
Oh
dummy?
right. Yeah, that's
That's a
crazy actually.
Yeah, they like built it to weigh like 20 pounds and it's just perfectly looks just like an unconscious Chris Pratt. So
Yeah.
don't get any freaky ideas, Abrar. That's weird.
James Gunn.
And
No,
he denied it. He was like,
no,
that's not what's going on here."
no. But yeah, now the trap I was talking about, it was the seeing trap. Ryan Gos not seeing trap. We just talked about that. The hearing trap. He Ryan Gosling, the one of his Bobby's publishes. He can't see. He's very high. And he's very he's like I don't want to
Like
say
in an
like
elevation, like he's on the second story. He's not
is it
he's
second
not
story?
he's not high.
Oh really? Okay, I thought it looked high to me.
No, Abrar,
Uh,
I'm just clarifying to the audience that he's not inebriated.
oh
He's high up. It's like
yeah.
second or third story or whatever. If he falls, it's bad. But he's not been smoking anything.
No. We don't encourage that here.
Not in
But
Saw.
yeah, yeah.
If you
Not in
do that in
Saw.
Saw, you go right in the trap.
Yep, exactly. Where rank this guy is. So Bobby is instructing him on like, hey, walk to this plank. You'll be safe, and
Yeah,
I have to
he's
get this key.
completely blindfolded and he only has a certain amount of time. He's also got a noose around his neck.
Yeah,
And if he doesn't make it, then it's going to hang him.
yeah.
Uh,
And the key is like in the middle as well, so Bobby has to get it that too.
yeah, he has to
So
jump
that's
over a couple things to get to it.
yeah. And the guy who's blindfolded, he's panicking. He is so scared. So once Bobby got the key, and he's like, "All right, make sure grab it. Put your hands next to your chest so you can grab the key, and so you can unlock yourself and be free." But what did he do? He had some Butterfingers, or not really Butterfingers. It kind of landed on his chest, and then it went down to the ground.
Man, what was
So
he
it was bad.
thinking?
Yeah, it was a bad throw.
I it okay, let's set all that aside for now. Let's first tackle the very first pressing thing that we need to
Y-
explain is
Sure.
that our main character tossed a key to a blindfolded man.
Yeah.
We got one shot at this. If you drop this, you're going to die.
Yup.
Here it comes. Dead. I think he wanted this guy dead.
Maybe.
I don't know what else to say about this one. That was just dumb.
Yeah. So we got the silence, the seeing, and the hearing traps, and they did not survive.
Nope. Um this guy he's still a little bit better than Jeff.
I think Jeff is bottom tier, and then you get this guy in the middle, and then the top tier is William from the last movie.
Well, hang on. We need to include the fake Ricky Gervais. He's down towards the bottom.
Oh, he is the bottom. Yeah, he's bottom for sure.
Anyways, yeah, we're on a losing record. Sean Patrick Flannery has saved nobody. The last person
No.
left to save is his wife.
Well, before we get into that,
Yeah.
let's get back to what's going on with Jill and Hoffman and all of them. So Christian Bale got some clues through the tape, um, and they realized that they're gonna go to this building. I forgot how they
He
realized.
he got clues that places he recognized,
Yeah,
ties into his backstory. He's got a small backstory with Hoffman. It doesn't
I
really
guess
matter at all.
he doesn't know.
He goes to this place. Um, they
Well, in the backstory, he kind of killed that guy behind his back, and that's illegal.
yeah, killing people is bad. That is true. I'm glad you brought that up for the
Yeah,
listeners.
yeah. I mean, you got to bring back the flashback.
Um, uh, so okay, obviously they're looking for Hoffman, and what we learn when they kind of follow the clues to the specific spot is that because they're kind of one of their base of operations has become the junkyard trap crime scene.
Yes, yeah,
That's where all the cops have been this whole time, like kind of cleaning up after that, taking the bodies of the junkyard trap people to the morgue or the police station morgue. Um, but we learn that Hoffman never left the junkyard and has replaced one of the corpses with himself. He jumped in the body bag, zipped it up, and they took him to the police station where Jill is because he's trying to kill
yes,
Jill. Kill
yes,
Jill. Uh, so the fake Christian Bale guy learns this right at the same time that a trap triggers and a machine gun just kills him and a bunch of other cops.
yeah.
He's dead.
Because he noticed because of the statue in the Hoffman tapes, like, oh, this is the same building he was in, and then yeah, you're right. A machine gun came out of nowhere and then saw all of them, and then they died.
And then there was also like a gas bomb that went off and killed a bunch of cops. I don't remember if that's here or later. I'm gonna go
Um,
ahead and say it really doesn't matter.
no, it doesn't matter.
And we're at the point where nothing these cops have done mattered, and nothing they're going to do is going to matter because Hoffman kills a bunch of people, including the guy from a couple movies ago, where he's like, "I've been the person examining the bodies on all the jigsaw cases." Well,
Yeah.
then Hoffman killed him.
Actually, it was
Uh,
really funny how he killed him because when he unzipped the bag, Hoffman like opened his eyes like the Undertaker, and he just stabbed him
he was
right
like
in
the
the
Undertaker.
neck. Yeah, he was literally Michael Myers, Undertaker, Jason Voorhees. It was all that in that one scene, and then he just started to had a killing spree through all the
Yeah,
cops.
yeah. He finally makes his way to Jill, who he like ties down to a chair in the evidence room, and he's looking for something to kill her with. And ooh, here's something. It's the original reverse bear trap because it kind of got a
Yes.
redesign when it was used on him. So, but
Yeah.
he took the
Yeah.
one that that they put on Amanda. We didn't mention. I think it was in the last movie because it kind of ramped up to why Jill put the trap on Hoffman in the first place, why he was being tested slash attempted to murdered.
Yeah.
Um, because he's a dickhead and because he didn't care about John's weird idea of helping people. He didn't care about the people. He just
Yeah.
wanted to kill the people, and then the reason Amanda was so weird in Saw 3 and why she was annoying and got herself killed was because Hoffman like blackmailed her into um killing Jeff's wife so that Jeff would shoot her because
Right.
he blackmailed her because Amanda was with Cecil. She was kissing on Cecil and she was there the night that John's little baby got squished in the womb. How terrible.
This is terrible, man. Well, before she got caught with Hoffman, the one of the cops or the fake Christian Bale's partner, he was guarding. He was he was like the last guard for Jill, and then Hoffman with a cool shot him right in the eye.
Oh yeah,
I thought, yeah, I thought that was a cool shot.
Hoffman's good.
Or yeah, that one's good because all this brain matter was on the cell too. Like, oh, okay,
Do
a
you
little
think
gruesome there.
do you think Costas Mandalore should be in an Expendables movie
Definitely,
as a bad guy or as part of the team?
it's part of the team.
Yeah, he should probably be a bad guy though. Oh my god, I'm looking at his Wikipedia page. Guess what?
What?
He was on 5 episodes of Seventh Heaven.
Another cast member of Seven Heaven. Fantastic.
Wow.
Uh,
5 episodes. That's crazy.
uh, well, before we get into, where Hoffman got Jill in the reverse bear trap,
Mhm.
let's rewind a little bit. So we got a little flashback of of Bobby. He was doing some book
Oh,
signing.
this is the
Yeah, we
most
got
important this is the most important scene in the movie.
yeah, we almost went past this, but yeah, we got a little flashback of Bobby signing some books, and then a guy walked by, and guess who it is?
It's John in a backwards baseball cap.
He's supposed to look young, but they give him a baseball cap, and he's like, "Hey, can you sign this book for me?"
Yeah, he kinda gives him the rundown, and he's telling him, he's like, liars in this town end up in a saw trap. What do you think about that? And the guy's like, I don't know what you're talking about. And he's like, okay. And then he does this really smooth thing where he takes like the book jacket off the book,
Yeah.
and he like throws it on the table, and he's like, you keep that. I don't need it. I know what you look like. Like I'm gonna
Dang.
get you. You're
Dang.
going in a trap.
He's very smooth with it too.
Yeah.
But yeah, that
Had
was
to
a
get
little
Tobin
flash.
Bell in the movie.
You
Yeah,
had
it's
to.
fine.
But yeah, everyone was kind of complaining about that. It was like, it's the weirdest thing you just see is Jigsaw with a baseball cap. That's not normal.
Well, what's really great is in an upcoming movie, it's not with John, but a different character. They do a flashback. They do the same exact thing.
Did they?
They do a backwards baseball cap. I'll tell you right now, it's on Chris Rock. They put a backwards baseball cap on Chris Rock, and he's supposed to look like young, like 20 years old
Okay,
or something. And it's just like, that is
okay.
not working.
Well, I haven't rewatched Spiral or Jigsaw, but yeah, I'll watch that soon. Um, but yeah, so that happened, and then let's get into the final trap for Bobby.
Well, first we'll say the reverse bear trap finally works.
Yes,
It killed Jill.
he
Um,
did.
it
There was no trap. He just basically
yeah,
set the timer.
it was an execution, and it really. I won't complain about the pink. The pink is an understood thing at this point. What I will
Yeah.
say is that
Eh,
the reason I think we've never seen a reverse bear trap work before, because its very idea is to, rip your lower jaw down and your upper jaw up, and the end result is she kind of looked like Kermit the Frog.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it was. All this hype of how the person will die,
Yeah.
since Saw 1. It was that, and it was like, I let's move on. It was just which is kind of sad because this is an iconic bear trap or a iconic trap for the movies.
You know what? I take it back. It was the pink's fault.
Ah, damn
It
it.
all comes down to the pink. I don't like
She
it.
was she was wearing a pink shirt, so maybe that adds to it?
Oh, no.
No? Damn. Well, finally, Hoffman killed Jill after 3 movies. Um, any memories for Jill? She's been there, done that.
She's been there all right. Her most memorable thing in the whole series is when she got hit by a door.
Yeah,
Yeah, Jill was fine. Jill
yeah.
was there. I don't know. I don't mind her. I don't miss her. I don't
It
know.
was a it was a big subplot for this whole movie, or this whole series, and she's supposed to be the protagonist, and again, she all protagonists dies. So shout out to her.
Mm. I just
Um,
discovered this fun fact, this piece of trivia.
sure.
Apparently at some point there was original plans for this movie's title, was Saw Endgame.
Wow, really?
Can you imagine if they had beat Marvel to the punch there?
Ooh, 9 years before? Dang,
Mhm.
that would've been something. I mean, that makes sense actually. The Endgame, Saw
Yeah.
Trap is a game. Do you wanna play a game?
Yeah.
Endgame?
Endgame would have worked better than the final chapter because, it wasn't the final chapter. And even
Yeah.
Marvel, when they did Endgame, they also kept going. So,
So never call something the final thing, but you'll keep going with it.
nope, yeah,
Oh,
Friday the 13th, part 4 was, the final Friday, or
yeah.
no, final chapter was the final. I think Jason Goes to Hell was the final Friday. So there were 2 movies that were. I'm gonna look that
Oh,
up
I
so I
mean,
don't sound like an asshole.
that's okay. I mean, they call it the final chapter because throughout the whole Saw series, they were going through the Roman numerals like 1, 2, 3. So this one, they're like, all right, final chapter 7. Uh, but yeah, we do have a Saw 10, which makes no sense. You should have named that movie something else. But uh, but yeah, Joe died. Hoffman is
Okay,
basically now,
I have it here.
yeah.
Friday the 13th 4 is just called Friday the 13th: The Final Chapter. And then they did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 movies later was Jason Goes to Hell: The Final Friday. And then they did 1, 2, 3 more, including Freddy versus Jason.
Wow. So that's like what, 3 finals?
Uh, well, two finals. The last movie came out in 2009. This isn't what we're supposed to be talking about.
No, 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 no.
Although, okay, you know what?
Yeah,
I do have something to talk about. This is totally off topic. This is not about Saw. This is about the Friday the 13th, 2009 reboot, right?
sure.
Do you know who produced that movie?
Who?
Michael Bay. You know
Wow.
what else Michael Bay was doing around that time?
Yeah.
He was making Transformers.
So what a big
Well,
2 different projects.
here's an interesting thing. There's a character in the 2009 Friday the 13th movie named Trent. He's one of the kids that goes on the
Uh-huh.
trip to the cabin, right? And
Mhm.
he dies. Jason kills him, spoilers.
Dang.
Um he is also in the first Transformers movie.
Oh, that's who?
The same character.
Oh.
His name is Trent
Oh,
DeMarco in the
okay.
Transformers movie, which means, you following me here?
I'm following you.
Transformers and that Friday the 13th movie, same universe.
I think we, discovered something big here.
No, someone else discovered that, but I'm repeating it here.
Okay, we are, talking about it again,
Yeah.
so that's a big thing.
Yeah, it's important.
Um yeah, so let's finish this damn movie here.
I'm so sick
Uh,
of Saw 3D, I'm trying to talk about anything else.
yeah, well, we gotta finish it here. So the final trap or final trial for Bobby is the furnace 2.0, as they call it. So pretty much, Joy throughout all these traps, she was stuck on this platform, and she was
Yeah.
getting like lower each time
Yeah, the
Bobby kills someone.
chain pulls are closer to the ground. I would have just sat down.
Yeah, like what's going on? Just sit down. Uh, but yeah, so Bobby came to her like, you're alive, but the whole thing is you gotta do what you said you did.
Yeah.
Is hook your pecs into this hooks and then jam these 2 cores together so your wife can survive. And
If he can repeat the same exact feat that he said he did in the book, then his wife and him can go free.
yeah, this one is a little emotional. Because we've been rooting for Bobby for like at least 30 minutes in this film.
I at no point was I rooting for Bobby.
I liked him.
I wasn't rooting against him. I'll say I was neutral on the subject.
Oh, I'm sorry, we're missing a big thing here. B the way he found out where his wife is, he had to, like, take out some yeah, he has to take out his teeth, right? If I remember.
Oh, yeah, we skipped that whole scene because he's gone through this whole thing and he's barely suffered at all.
Yeah.
So, to get through a door, he had instructions that the combination to a door were etched on, like, his back teeth. So he had to take some pliers and, like, rip out his teeth, and he's, like, smacking himself against the wall, and a whole bunch of blood is shooting out. Yeah, it's alright.
I'll tell you this, I got my wisdom teeth, pulled out, but
Mhm.
the thing is I was not under, like, anesthesia,
Oh, you
and
weren't?
so I can no, but I was, the dentist, they numb my teeth only, so I was awake. And on my left side, there was this one tooth that was really hard to pull out, but my dentist was like ganking it out, and I feel the pressure. I didn't feel the
Uh-huh.
pain, but I feel the pressure,
Yeah.
and I'm feeling what Bobby's feeling.
They didn't have to put you under for that? That's interesting.
It is very interesting. I thought they were, but they didn't.
Mine was a full surgery, like, they when I had my wisdom teeth taken out mine were also super impacted, though, like,
Yeah.
they were coming in completely sideways.
Do you got
So
all your fours out, or is like
yeah, all
2 at a
4.
time? Yeah, same here. Yeah, it was. I felt a lot of pressure. He was like basically digging in into my mouth. He was
He
like
was he
over
was
my.
he was doing what Bobby was doing.
Yeah, exactly. So I feel for Bobby.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so he found out where Joyce was, and now where are we at? So
I
now he
I
is
guess the reason we forgot to talk about that is because although it's probably the closest thing to feeling like a Saw movie that he's been through
yeah,
so far, it
yeah.
it 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 ultimately leads to nothing. It's just like, "Do this so you can go through the door," and then he does it to go through the door. It's like a loading screen. It's just like, we have to keep him busy before we get to the end. We're buying time. It just kinda feels pointless, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
I see that. Yeah, something for him to do while we are
Yeah,
discovering
something to entertain him.
Jill.
Make him have a
Yeah,
little fun in there.
yeah. But it's not fun at all, man. What the hell?
Could've been a little fun.
Um, uh, for some people. So
Hoffman's having fun.
Hoffman is having a great time. He's just killing these cops left and right. And he just killed Jill. Now he's escaping. He has all the money. He's burning. At this point, he's burning all the evidence. There's a big Jix, Billy the puppet, like sitting on the desk. I
Yeah.
can't believe he's burning that too. He should have kept that.
Since this is essentially the very, very end, let's just wrap up Bobby's story really quick.
Sure.
He fails.
He fails.
He
Ouch.
he stabs the hooks through his pectorals, and he pulls himself up the chain. He's almost got it, and then the hooks tear through his pecs.
Oh God.
Essentially being like, because part of the thing he said, like on the Good Morning America show he was on, was he was like, "Oh, the pecs can hold the weight of my body," and well, I guess they couldn't
They could
because
not.
he's full of shit. And so
Yeah.
so he falls, he fails, and then his wife is cooked alive in a big brazen bowl.
That is crazy.
It's
She is.
especially crazy considering she's probably the most innocent character in any of these movies we've ever seen. As far as we
Yeah.
know, she's done nothing wrong her entire life, and she dies the most horrible death in at least this movie.
The only thing she did was to love Bobby, and Bobby
Well,
lied to her.
yeah, she had no idea until he got to this room and said, "Oh, by the way, I've never done this before." She didn't know that,
No.
so that's cool.
So Joyce and the guy who got burned. Okay, two people who burned alive in this series did not deserve it. The
Abby?
guy from the first. Yeah, no, no. Her wife and the guy
Oh,
from Saw
oh, the guy
One.
that called in sick.
Yeah, so those
Yeah.
2 people got burned alive, and they did not deserve that.
Yeah.
Dang.
But
Um,
did Zepp deserve what happened to him on that
no,
toilet?
actually, I don't think so.
No one deserves
Because
that.
no. Um, but yeah, so she got cooked alive, and Bobby
That's
did
the end
Bobby
of Bobby.
die?
No, that's the end. We don't know. We never
Yeah,
see him
we don't
again.
exactly. Oh, okay,
The
that's
movie
dumb.
stopped caring, so why should I?
Yeah, yeah. Also, when the hooks went through his pecs, I just was holding my chest. Because remember that one Game of Thrones episode where that guy just chopped up
Nat
that guy's nipple?
naturally, of course I do, yeah.
Yeah, that I can't do anything like that. Or in Mad Max where the guy pierces nipples, I cannot do anything like that. Oh man. Anyways,
Abrar is scared
this
of the human nipple. That's why he didn't watch, the scene in Saw 3 with the naked lady.
exactly.
Scared of nipples.
Good callback. Yeah, so we're done with Bobby. He's dumb. Not dumb, but that's a wrap up for him. Now, like I mentioned before, Hoffman's trying to get away. He is getting away, and then he blew up the as I mentioned all the evidence, and that the explosion for that it scared me because it was kind of loud when I was wearing my headphones. I was like, oh, I didn't expect. I was expecting, but I wasn't expecting at that time.
I
So
remember the explosion went off and I was like, "Oh, it's a big digital explosion."
it was, yeah,
Yeah.
but the sound was loud.
The sound was loud, yeah, sure.
Then what happened? You go ahead.
He gets jumped. He gets jumped
Yeah.
by he gets jumped by people in pig masks, which is like a very surreal moment for Hoffman because he's like, "Wait a minute, that's me." No, three people in pig masks drug him, and they're like, "You think you can get away, you son of a bitch?" And who is it? Who's in the pig?
The
We don't
mask?
know. We don't know two of them. They don't take their masks off, but we know the third one.
No. It is Dr. Gordon.
What do you think of this twist?
Okay, when I watched it, like I said before, when I watched it initially watched it in theaters, I was
Yeah.
like, "What?" Because I was really confused because like I said, I didn't remembering anything of what's going on. I was like, "Oh, okay, it's this guy." But now when I rewatch it after watching all these films, I'm like, it's it connects everything, but it's like it's dumb. Because,
It
the reason why he's there because he was setting up all the he was also helping out all the traps, especially
yeah.
of, like, the medical stuff at
Yeah,
least.
we get a flashback kinda that, well, first of all, when Gordon s was crawling through that hallway and cauterized his leg stump, he passed out and John found him and took him and nursed him and saved him. And from then on, he's been a secret helper acolyte of Jigsaw. Anytime any Jigsaw trap required any kind of medical surgery, stitching, like he
Yeah,
put the key in that guy's eye in Saw 2. He
yeah.
sewed, Art's mouth shut in Saw 4, um, all kinds of stuff. Um,
So, yeah, it connects, like, that stuff, like, okay, I'm like, "Okay, I'm okay with that, I guess."
it's if you were to find a reason to be upset with Dr. Gordon becoming kind of a Jigsaw acolyte, it would be if you felt it went against the integrity of the Dr. Gordon character, but there
Yeah,
hasn't been Dr. Gordon character for, like, 6 years.
yeah,
He was in Saw 1, and then he left, and then what do we know about people who survive Jigsaw traps? Well, except for the one girl who was mad about losing her arm, except for her, everyone else is like, "No, Jigsaw's chill, dude. He helped me through a tough patch by
yeah.
making me cut my foot off." And so Gordon drank the Kool-Aid. I don't know. I don't really have a problem with it as far as a character thing because it doesn't really matter. It doesn't ruin anything. It doesn't make anything better. It's just sure. And they needed to do it because, as I stated multiple times, they killed all their other protagonists. We had no one else to stop Hoffman. So,
Yeah.
who stops this rogue guy who no one can stop? Well, it's the guy from the first movie who was actually Jigsaw's best friend.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I'm gonna
funny
s
looking.
I'm gonna call it
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
It's a little funny because it's, Cary Elwes, and like I said, he became a Shakespeare villain in this.
Yeah, yeah, I'm fine with it too. Um, so when, he got Hoffman, he put it back to the bathroom trap from Saw 1, and
Yeah,
you
I
see.
just
Yeah.
just 'cause that's what we know. It's like the Millennium Falcon of this series.
Yeah, it's the iconic bathroom. You see Adam as a skeleton, you see Zep as a skeleton now.
Yeah, so Zep's
Um,
a skeleton, Adam's a skeleton, the meathead guy from Saw 2 is a skeleton because he also died in there.
yes, he's
And
there.
there's a great shot where Gordon looks at his old chain
Yes.
with his little foot in it, and he's like, "Hello, old friend. I missed you."
Yeah.
Should have taken it home with him.
You should have, but he just left it for, the art piece.
Yeah.
And then of course it's 3D. Remember the guy's 3D?
Oh
He
my
got the
god.
saw and
W
he
yeah,
he threw it to the to
yeah,
us.
so Hoffman's chained just like, Adam and Gordon were, and the first thing he does, he tries to make a break for the bone saw to cut his cut his foot off, but Gordon picks it up and he's like, "Oh, I don't think so." And he throws it down the hallway in slow motion in 3D right into the audience, and it's really cringe. And then game over, and then Hoffman screams, and it's just like the ending of Saw 1 and Saw 2.
Yeah. And that's how it ends. The final chapter. Hoffman is
Mm,
in there.
mm.
But yeah, uh, your since we talked about it now, what's your thoughts now?
I'm mostly wondering why the worst movie we talked about the longest. It's been 2 hours.
Is it? Oh Lord. Let me
Yeah,
check here.
this is nuts.
Oh my god. I mean, it is the final chapter. Yeah, it covers all loose ends.
Man,
Um,
man,
that's crazy.
this movie sucks, man. This movie's bad. I don't like it. It's just
Ah,
it's the writing doesn't make anything interesting. It's boring. Most of all,
sure.
it looks terrible. It's shot terrible.
Yeah.
It's just bleh.
The best parts of this movie is Gordon. Um, who else? I want to say Hoffman too with his Undertaker killing spree. And I think that's it, right?
Chester Bennington.
Yes, shout out to him. Yeah. Other than that, uh, the movie ends, and that was the final movie for the series, as we know.
Yeah,
Uh,
we're done. I'm not doing another one, except for the fact
well,
that I already watched them.
well, too late now. Yeah, that's all. 7 Jigsaw. We'll cover that soon.
Saw
But
7
yeah,
for me gets 1.5 stars.
wow, really?
Mhm.
Okay, is that the lowest rating for you?
Of this series?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was
I haven't. Uh-huh.
at first I thought like 2 stars was appropriate, but this movie's so ugly. This movie's so ugly, and there's bad performances almost all the way throughout it, and this is just not enough. I'm not getting anything out of watching this movie. Um,
Uh, yeah, it's not the best Saw film. It's one of the worst, but there's some cool things in it, I say.
It's
So is that as
probably
bad?
it's probably the worst. Um, one of the next two has the chance of beating it for being the worst, but I don't know if it's gonna quite get there.
Yeah. There's one thing I was gonna say is that if it wasn't Gordon, I would think Daniel should have been the new, not a new Jigsaw, but the guy who was with Jigsaw the entire time. Daniel, Donnie Wahlberg's,
No, I know.
yeah.
Why?
I mean, we haven't seen him since Saw 2, and I'm like, maybe he wants revenge on. Actually, you know what? It doesn't make sense.
Um,
N- But what do who besides Gordon? Who do you should have been the guy under the mask?
um, well, now you're making me recall characters from past movies. Oh,
Well,
the guy
most
the guy from Rush Hour, but he's severely burned.
yeah.
Or maybe Jill, like her mouth doesn't work anymore, but she didn't
Oh
die.
god. Oh gosh. Or
No,
Amanda.
if you oh,
She like she
you
got
would have
shot.
to you would have to do some BS writing to bring
Yeah.
Amanda back. But hey, they could do it. I've seen dumber things happen.
Yeah. Fast and Furious. Han supposed to. Spoiler alert. Holland died in Tokyo Drift, but he came back in Fast Five.
Well, that's because Tokyo Drift takes place after all that.
Sorry, Fast 9, Fast 8. Whenever he came back from the car
No,
explosion.
he came back. I think he wasn't in 5, he was definitely in 6 and 7 because the end of 7 is when Tokyo Drift happens.
Right.
Why do you keep tricking me into talking about other movies that aren't Saw?
Sorry. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the final chapter as at the moment. Saw 7 final chapters, Saw 3D. But yeah. Um I can't believe we went over 2 hours for the worst movie, and that means a lot. But yeah, Skylar, where can they find you, man? The audience.
Um, they can I don't know. Saw has killed my brain. I can't.
You know, once we're done with the series, I feel like I'm not gonna watch any Saw movies. I'm gonna be Saw out.
Yeah, we're gonna
Um,
have to watch something else. Maybe
yeah.
we've stumbled across a good series to watch together, Fast and the Furious.
Uh, We can do that. We can do that.
Can you handle that much Vin Diesel in a row?
I can handle all of his half sleeve shirts. I can
Whoa,
do
hey
that.
now.
Hey
Easy
now,
now.
hey now, you're a rock star. Come on, play your game on. Go
Oh,
play.
rest in peace.
Yeah, he died. Man, I think wasn't he part of the Salt Trap?
That's in poor taste. Abrar,
Yeah, I'm
you're
so sorry. I'm so
this is
sorry.
canceled.
Sorry, I
Abr
apologize for all
Abrar,
the
more
smash.
importantly, where can they find you on the socials so that they can write to you and say how disgusted they were at your joke about the Smash Mouth guy?
Sorry, bad taste. Apologize. Saying sorry right now. But yeah, you can find this podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts at Brown Boy Wonders, and also on Instagram, Brown Boy Wonders as well. Let's end here. Before we get into Jigsaw and Spiral and Saw 10. Other than that, I'm gonna count three. Anything you want to count down to?
No, I'm not counting this time.
Damn. Okay, I'll just say. Oh, I just want to say quickly. in the beginning of Saw 3, do you remember when Donnie Wahlberg was saying like it was like just screaming in the beginning of the movie?
Yeah.
Yeah, I always laugh about that.
Oh, okay.
I thought, yeah, I thought that because if you're watching in the living room and with the sound high, you're
Yeah.
like, oh shit, you gotta put the volume down.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was the
Donnie Wahlberg waking your entire family up at 2 in the morning.
yeah, you're like, you bitch! Yeah, that great. That's a funny opening. But other than that, count of three, I'll just say, uh, Gordon. I'll just say Gordon. 3, 2, 1.
Gordon. Oh, I
Detect
did it.
Gordon. Oh, you did it! Wow.
Wow, that's because it's the final chapter.
Final chapter. Gordon.
Bing bang.